2022 plenary meeting to order. Will you all rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alicia. Here. Alan.
Here.
Mary. Here. Steve.
Present.
Bob.
Here. Next up, we have citizen input. Are there any citizens that would like to address the council? Hearing none, moving on to the consent agenda. I'll be looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda to include the minutes of the October 5, 2022 council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary. Aye. Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, announcements. I have 4 announcements that didn't make it to the agenda. Announcement number 1 is a reminder that Halloween hours are on Halloween this year from 4 to 7. Second announcement, the Christmas tree lighting is scheduled for December 2nd at 6 p.m. here at Town Hall. Third is Town Hall will be closed on Friday, November 11th for Veterans Day. And fourth, a reminder that the general election is this Tuesday, November 8th. Next up, we have reports. Town Council, we will start with Ward 2.
I have nothing to present.
Ward 3.
I just wanted to thank the park department on another successful Halloween parade. You guys have a good turnout for that. It's good to see the kids interacting with the police. Very nice event.
Ward 4.
My discussion is 2 parts of the town. First of all, I've been encouraging a lot of people to take a look at the 2-stage ditch, and I've told them to please go on top of the bridge. But now that they can't park on Grieving Street, I'm going to tell them to come behind the town hall and park there, and then they can walk around and look at the bridge. I think the bridge gives you a really good view on both sides about what has taken place here. Second thing is the South Shore building is moving along rather quickly. And if you haven't been by there lately, go drive north and take a look at all that they're doing for the South Shore coming in 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 5.
Thank you. Good to see everyone out here. Thank you for coming out, taking a few minutes out of your daily busy lives to spend a few minutes with us. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank the Department of Public Works. Every time I look out, they're out there putting up branches, taking care of the roads, any water main breaks, and doing a fantastic job the whole time. If any neighbors come out, they're really friendly. So tell your guys, thank you. Greatly appreciate all the work they do. The police doing the most excellent job as always. I wave to the guys driving by. Some of them don't wave back. Could you tell them to wave? The fire department, what a wonderful open house she had. I was privileged to spend a little bit of time there when we first opened, seeing all the smiling faces on the kids and the families. Great job. Thank you again. The parks department, the Halloween parade was really nice. Only had a minute to jump in and jump out. I'm really thrilled. I have the Central Park plans and all the other community parks that we have in the development. Looking forward to it. And each and every town employee that we have. Every time I come to town hall, doing a fine job. Every time I talk to residents out in the street, they have nothing but great things to say about Dyer. That's a compliment on all of us. So I just want to say thank you. That's it.
Thank you. I'll take a moment to give a report on some of our bond plans that we'll be voting on starting this month and going into next month. We're adjusting some of the bonds of the traditional 2 million for the GO, 2 million for the parks. We are doing 3 million now for the general obligation bond and doing 1 million for the park bond. And for the taxpayers, they won't see any difference of that. It's still a full $4 million pull. But what that does for us is, for example, next year we have $5 million going into infrastructure projects with no other roads being tentatively funded. This extra $1 million will give us the resources to mill and pave, do some resurfacing on those roads. For parks, what it does is it sets up a plan for parks with a commitment from RDC, which we can talk about at the RDC meeting, with a $500,000 commitment each year for construction in Central Park. We can take the $1 million from the parks, split it in two, put half to Central Park, which gives Central Park $1 million a year for the foreseeable future for construction to complete that. But that also gives our park board $500,000 to do the neighborhood parks each year. Historically, we're looking at between $300,000 and $400,000 to redo one of those parks. So this bond plan here puts together a plan that doesn't raise taxes on the residents, but we're getting an extra $1 million for paving a year. We're dedicating $1 million to Central Park every year, and we're dedicating $500,000 to our park replacement program. So I think it's the best mix of what we can do with the money we have. The RDC portion of it, again, we could talk about that later. We have some RDC bonds rolling off over the next year. So over the next 2 years, we will see a significant increase in TIF revenues coming in. So this $500,000 wouldn't impact any of the property purchases that we have, which we typically set aside $1 million for property acquisition for redevelopment purposes. And it also wouldn't impact any of the plans we have going forward for, say, Calumet Avenue and Central Park Boulevard to redo that intersection. So again, it keeps all the wheels greased going forward 5-8 years until we hit an empty space in the park replacement program, and then we can reevaluate that. But until then, we get all the roads paved, we get Central Park $1 million every year to do something. And then, the park replacement program. I know Sandy Ridge is on your list, and that gives us the money to do that sooner rather than 2-3 years out.
Right.
So
The park board meeting was very productive yesterday. So yeah, that definitely gives Sandy Ridge and like talked about Heritage Park moving forward. It makes them on the map, makes them visible to us. They know the park needs to be done, and so they'll have the money to do it. Because
without doing that, as we had park board meeting last night, they're without funding it that way, it's either Central Park, which every Dyer resident knows that's been, we've been doing a great job on that the last few years, but for the 10 years prior, it wasn't much. So we don't want to leave one in a lurch. So this way we can get really everything done, again, without going back to the residents for more. So that's my report. Clerk Treasurer?
Yes, I have some donations to accept for the fire chief discretion, $22. And for the K-9 gift fund, $5. If I can have a motion to accept those.
Motion to accept.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia? Aye. Alan?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I'd also like to mention, because this is the first time for 2 elected officials to get the Municipal Management Institute from AIM certificate. It takes quite a few years to get these certificates, between 4 and 6, depending on how many AIM conferences you go to and do webinars. So Mary and myself will be getting these awards 11/4. Mary will be accepting mine down in Indianapolis, along with
French
hers.
Lick. French
So-
Lick.
French, it's in French Lick this year? Okay, so she'll be accepting that. And at the same time, I found out that Mary sits on the legislation committee for AIM as an elected official for the whole state. So that's with seeing everybody who's on this list, that's an honor for a Dyer member to be sitting on that AIM committee. So
Thank
thanks. And I know more of you guys will get that. I was like, wow, that's something. How many classes, how many hours? But it took a long time because I didn't go every single year. But
Thank
it's nice to have.
Town manager?
Yes, almost everything that I have for an update is an agenda item with bonds and budgets taking up a lot of the time, but I did want to comment on the NDOT project on Route 30. If you're not aware, Route 30's been under construction for a little bit.
Really? Are there pictures?
There is pictures every day. So that is the state of Indiana Route 30 NDOT project. They're doing the ADA ramps at the corners. They did the north side. They broke it up to where they weren't inconveniencing too many people trying to do one side at a time. We did try to get them to alter their traffic plan. The single lane road just was not working for this type of traffic. The chief of police and myself even offered our physical labor to move the barrels ourselves in the morning and put them back, but that wasn't accepted. They are doubling the crew on the south side, so hopefully get it done. They're still predicting the timeline to be October 31st. So we're hoping it's before that, but they wouldn't commit to it. So the south side is being worked on right now. They just completed Moeller. They just completed the Kaler entrance. They have part of Castlewood done. So we're hoping that these barricades leave us here shortly and we're back to normal. That's all I have.
While we're on that topic, I know it's been discussed, it's been emails. I don't know how many of the residents know. Next year, the bridge replacement project on 30, that's going to be what we have now times 10. That's going to be a disaster, to say nothing else. The replacing that bridge. What I'm hoping, because we take a lot of heat for Route 30 when we're stuck in the exact same traffic, shaking our fists at the sky. I'm hoping we can perhaps get NDOT to put up a big sign that says it's their project, not ours. So if perhaps in your discussions with them,
Is it by,
the one coming into
Patty's?
town from,
oh, okay.
yeah. If you noticed, over the last week or so, they've had it down to one lane on either side. Not a part of the NDOT project. They're just taking some core samples. But yeah, the plan is to replace that next year, and that's going to be a mess. Yeah. So just something as that comes up, maybe see if they can
Yeah, we'll try to
put some
jump in on
signage
that.
up. Or if nothing else, we can put ours up there that says not ours.
As much as we welcome state-funded programs and projects,
Yeah.
we do lose control of them though.
Yeah.
At the last NERC meeting, the gentleman that used to be the head of, that would come to our meetings has now gone to Indianapolis. So now they have a new person, but she had only been on board for the last couple of days. So, we have somebody new that works with NERC for NDOT. So just FYI.
Next up, town attorney.
Yes, couple litigate. I have the bond matters. Those are all agenda items. I will address them there as they come up.
Okay.
The litigation updates, we had a status hearing in the condemnation action to acquire the speedway at the corner of 213th and Sheffield. We will be naming our appraisers by the end of the month. They have 45 days to give their report. After then, the plan is, depending on how divergent the numbers are, we would go to mediation, or if I expect us to resolve our differences there. If not, it's a bench trial. I expect the process to be done by the spring. If for some reason it drags on, there is a procedure by which we can acquire the property, deposit the money, and then just fight over how much Speedway gets. So with the weather changing, plan currently is to just continue litigating, and if that changes, we will have those discussions. Regarding 100 Chateau, it's my understanding that the property is now in compliance from the exterior, so all we're dealing with is fines for past violations. Any unsafe building issues would have to be done through entry through our unsafe building procedures. I'm not sure what the administration's pleasure is at this point, but that's where we are with that. And then the third matter I have for you is in your packet. The expectation is that I will continue to serve as bond counsel for the GO bonds. And I have presented a proposed fee agreement that mirrors last year's verbatim. It only adjusts with the amount of the bond. This proposes a flat fee of $32,000 for the $3.2 million bond. Factors to be considered are those listed in the Indiana Rules of Professional Conduct, and all payment would occur at closing from the distribution of bond proceeds. I can answer any questions you have, and I would request a motion to approve at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for the attorney's fees relating to the 2022 general obligation bond issue.
I'll second the motion.
I see we have the same date anomalies that we had at the park board meeting last night.
2021 is on there.
I've been in two places, in 2 and 4.
One question I have is, it's not on the public agenda for tonight.
I'm presenting it as part of my report.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Next up, we have Department Head, Public Works.
This week we started beginning leaf removal throughout the town. That service will continue all the way through till December. We're also going to stay on the same schedule that we have done in the past, which is the same as the branch pickup schedule. However, this year, if we do fall behind in certain areas or certain, due to, volume and stuff like that, we will post that on Facebook daily to kind of keep everybody up to the same speed where we're at and all that stuff throughout town. We're also preparing our trucks for winter season this year, getting the plows in the trucks and the V-box in the back and getting everything all worked out. We also had a training session this past Tuesday, which was yesterday, to kind of go over procedures and get everybody up to speed on those piece of equipment, especially having new employees and stuff like that. Sidewalk program, we have a fall replacement project that's supposed to be done before the first week of November. So that's been scheduled, and we have crosswalk and pavement markings that will resume tomorrow. Because again, there's some areas that we still wanted to get done before the end of the year. So it's all for right now.
Jeff, what's our general thinking about how far the sidewalk has to be sunk in before it will be replaced? Is it 1 inch?
I believe it's 1 inch.
Okay.
I believe that's a tripping hazard. So again, if anybody has any issues with the sidewalk or whatever, there is a form that they can fill out. We will then inspect it and then put it on a list depending on finance and stuff like that.
And that's on our property, not on their property.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
Is that done on a priority basis or first come, first served?
Pretty much it is on a first. We are to the point where we've gotten rid of all the critical areas that were tripping hazards, but if there are ones that do pop up that are really, bad, we will put that to the front of the list, but for the most part, it's first come, first served.
I've seen them 2-3 inches or more.
Yep, and if we do see those, we do put those on.
Higher priority.
Yes.
than ones that barely make an inch.
Yes,
difference in the sidewalk.
we do that. So we do put those at the top of the list.
I forward one, I'll forward some more pictures and location.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Parks.
For construction projects, I believe Park, the Trillium property, the earthworks complete, having the sidewalk extend to the walking path. They're ready to put forms on. There was a 3-week delay with the concrete shortage. So their target date for that was October 25th. So that would ideally get poured next week. Autumn Chase, it's been completed. There's a couple items that we need before we could file for the final grant submission. And then Central Park is near completion. Just a couple punch items remain, repairing some landscaping and repairing some asphalt. And then for activities, we had our Halloween parade last Sunday. It was a good turnout, approximately 200-300 people. And then this Friday we have from 6:30 to 7:15 at Elmer Miller Park, the Frights, Lights, and Bites. And then Monday the 24th, we have our mini lights also at Elmer Miller Park. That's all I got.
Police Department.
September report. We had 701 incidents, 32 arrests, 41 accidents, 274 citations, and 630 warnings. Also, you guys remember at the end of or beginning of this year, we did a reciprocity for Illinois license plates being transferred over to Indiana. We served 248 warnings, which resulted in 46 citations, and 200 cars were in compliance where either they changed Indiana plates, no longer parking in driveway streets, or registered to a business, which makes them a company car, which we could not do anything about. 30 were in one parking lot alone, which is a rental unit. But we will be doing this again, probably closer to December, January, and start it all over again, just because we have so many new residents. And we'll be putting out a lot on Facebook just to get people to comply. Again, this is a compliance thing, so we get everybody in town with the registrations marked in Indiana instead of our adjacent state.
Thank you. Fire department?
Month of September, we had 151 total calls for service. We had 502 hours of training. We continued installs of smoke and CO detectors and our car seat inspection program. We had 2 more graduate from Blue Card Communications. That brings us up to 22 as a department. 2 started EMT Academy. 1 starts at the end of the month. We had 1 graduate paramedic academy as a valedictorian. That was firefighter Colin Zakovic. We have 2 starting driver operator series of classes at the end of the month. We are doing CPR training for our Dyer PD this week and next. Our community risk reduction group finished a very comprehensive curriculum, and it's implemented now within our department, which covers all the way from preschool age children to our oldest residents in the town of Dyer. September 3rd, we had 5 members participate in the Tunnels to Towers run in honor of Stephen Siller. We had 11 members participate in the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb on September 11th. We were able to raise over $3,000 for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. November 12th, outside of Jewel, we will be doing a boot drive for the Disabled American Veterans Day after Veterans Day. October 8th was our annual open house, as Councilman Kramer mentioned. We had a great turnout. We were able to, by the end of the day, we had 160 some odd children between the ages of kindergarten and 3rd grade that left with bicycle helmets free of charge with the program. We partnered with INDOT. On top of that, all of our smoke and CO detector installs over the last few weeks have been from signups from the event. So our risk reduction program, which I firmly believe is one of the best in the area, if not the state, is being a even greater benefit for our community. I'd like to thank Councilwoman Myers and Councilman Kramer for helping us with one part of our risk reduction program with the stickers for police and fire departments, so that in the event we respond to a scene at a house or even in a vehicle, we know that there is somebody there with functional needs, and it helps with our response to that. So thank you for supporting that. And over the last week, we have seen 1,300 plus students from preschool all the way up to 4th grade in our Dyer schools for community risk reduction and fire prevention.
Thank you. Next up, we had road projects. Neil is unable to be here tonight. He's at a Little Cal meeting. He submitted a letter and said it's in your packets. The only thing I would comment on is, Dave, when you get, it looks like the PASER rating is complete. The last sentence of his, when you get those maps, if you could forward that to the council members, so we all have updated PASER maps.
Sure.
Next, we'll go to ordinances and resolutions. I'll be looking for a motion for resolution 2022-28, which is the 2022 budget reductions.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-28, providing for the reduction of appropriations in various budgets of the town of Dyer for the year 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, before we do resolution 2022-29, there was an error last month, which will require us to void out the resolution 2022-21 before we do this transfer. I believe. I'm not
I'll make
sure.
that motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
I was gonna say, I don't believe if he has that in their packet, but yes, it was just a resolution numbering error. So to be sequential,
Which number was in error?
2021, I'm sorry, 2022-21.
Yes.
That was already a resolution that was approved previously. So we're going to void this resolution and accept the 2022-29 in its place.
From what I understand, the reason we're voiding rather than just correcting an error is that there's new material that's added in this transfer, so it has to be done as a new motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What are the differences?
The fire department. The fire department.
And what specifically in the fire department?
It's on the first two for the new one for 21.
We don't have the old one.
No.
Bob has a
No.
copy of
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah, it should have been discussed earlier.
in 29, the dash 29, we have an additional $20,000 transfer under fire. We have an additional $1,500 transfer under police. Parks and wastewater remain the same.
This is kind of in, yeah, the day after the resolution is passed.
Thank you.
A motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Al, Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. So now I will be accepting or seeking a motion for resolution 2022-29, transfer of funds.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-29 transfer of
I'll
funds.
second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. I'll be accepting a motion for resolution 2022-30 to deal with surplus property.
I'll make that motion to approve 2022-30 for surplus property with our vehicles.
Correct.
I'll make a second.
I have a motion and a second. These are.
So these,
This for parks, we're selling two and getting one. That
correct.
what we're doing, okay.
These two were hand-me-downs from Public Works and Fire Department. Parks have used them up for all the value that we could find, and now we're determining their surplus.
Sounds good. Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. Next up, I'll be accepting a motion for ordinance 2022-21, authorizing the issuance and sale of general obligation bond on first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-21.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. I'll be seeking a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-21,
I'll make-
authorizing on second reading.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-21 on second reading.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. Next up is ordinance 2022-22. We will only be doing first reading on this pending a public hearing at our next meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-22 appropriating the proceeds of the GO bond on first reading only.
I'll make a second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. Next up, I have ordinance 2022-23 appropriation and tax rates for general and non-utility funds to be passed on. For
yeah.
first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-23.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. Looking for a motion to suspend the rules and pass on second reading.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and second, any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Seeking a motion for ordinance 2022-24 appropriations and tax rates for the water district on first reading.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second, any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Entertain a motion to suspend the rules. And
So
pass on
moved.
second reading.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be entertaining a motion for ordinance 2022-25 appropriations and tax rates for the sanitary district operating fund.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Be seeking a motion to suspend the rules and pass on second reading.
So moved.
Second the motion.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia. Aye. Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. That I think is the fastest we've ever spent all that. Okay, next up, new business for the park board appointment.
I'd like to make a motion for Bob Woodlock to be appointed to the park board.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, I just want to say it's Bob, second time putting it in. Greatly appreciate sticking it out and really wanting to help and work out with everybody. Thank you.
Roll call.
Alicia.
Aye.
Alan.
No.
Mary.
Nay.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Nay. Any further discussion on the park board?
I'd like to make a motion to approve, appoint Kevin Smosda to the park board.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, is there an application for this individual?
Yes,
And what was the designation for political affiliation?
Democrat.
Is that checked out?
Yes.
How come we didn't have a meeting on?
We had meetings on all the other candidates.
Yeah.
And,
Except this one. Well,
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia.
Nay.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
nay,
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have any and all. I'd like to see if we could entertain a motion to direct town manager Dave to work with Nice Engineering on a high level concept, no field work, just 20 to 30 hours worth of engineering on the intersection of Calumet and Central Park Boulevard to give us some early estimates on what it would take for acceleration and deceleration lanes there and to turn that into a lighted intersection. I think, you know, with what we plan to do with Central Park, not only does that fit what the overall plan is for that area, I think it will help development moving forward. So
I would make a motion to authorize the town manager to work with Nice Engineering on the intersection of Calumet and Central Park Boulevard.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none? Oh, sorry.
This is just to check it out and make sure.
Yes, yeah,
Coming off
that's why the stipulation is, you know, we don't want to spend tens of thousands with core samples and going out there stuff. We want just someone to give us, take a look at easements, right of ways, what we would have to do just, I mean, because right now we would have no idea. We know the work needs to be done there. We just don't know.
Coming off the bridge makes me a little weary of having a stoplight there.
so what was the amount of your approving for appropriation for all this? It's unlimited right now based on your motion. I think
Well,
it's
I
not
would've-
prudent to the town of Dyer to make an open-ended. I would suggest to redo it and put a limit on not to exceed. That way we can start from there.
I would amend my motion to not to exceed 40 hours.
I'll second.
That would be 40 hours worth of engineering work.
Just to be clear, this isn't including any traffic study.
Correct. I have an amended motion and second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia? Aye. Alan?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Aye.
So Dave, if you could provide me a copy of this park board application and the date it was submitted for the ones that they approved tonight on the council,
October 7th, it was sent to the entire town council.
October 7th.
Correct.
Anything else for any and all?
May I say something?
Sure. Go ahead and state your name and address for the record. I know we all know you.
My name is Jennifer Medlin. I reside at 536 Hillside Drive. As the Dyer representative for Lake Central School Board, this is just a comment. This isn't a question answer. I just wanted to make a comment. As a Dyer representative for Lake Central School Board, I was disappointed to see Councilman Brooks used his power to write a full letter of endorsement for a candidate in a nonpartisan school board election. He also decided to come to the Lake Central Board meeting last night and sit with the plaintiffs in the lawsuit against Lake Central, which of course is on the taxpayers' dime. That's all.
I have a First Amendment right to endorse anybody I want. I also have a First Amendment right to attend any public meeting because I am also a taxpayer.
I believe the issue was it's a nonpartisan. And if you exercise your right as you see fit, doesn't mean it's correct. But if you do it as a representative of the Dyer Town Council, I think you overstep the boundary, especially in a nonpartisan school board race. We're trying to get the best of the best. And I think we have some of the best in there right now. And I want to thank you for bringing that up.
Well, that's your opinion. A lot of residents think the board is horrible. And again, I have a right, a First Amendment right, to endorse anybody, even in a nonpartisan race.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Name and
Name's
address for the
Brian. I
record.
live on 13 Ivy Lane. Can you guys tell me a legitimate answer why you didn't pick Bob for a second time? Is it just because you got 3-2? Is that what that is? You can't come up with a good answer because he's an intelligent gentleman.
I don't believe our vote had anything to do with whether or not we.
I think it has a lot to do with it.
An intelligent candidate or not.
That's a legitimate answer. You guys got one, huh?
Not exactly sure what you're looking for.
I just, he went up to the board, applied twice now, and you guys turned him down twice.
We get many applications for many of our boards and positions,
Okay,
boards and commissions, sorry.
that's it. Okay.
I think the gentleman's trying to explain it. The last time someone put in twice, there was a reasoning behind the town council. And it just seems from the onset that there's other particular reasons, and it sure doesn't seem fair or honest especially when you have good people. All I can say is for those who want to really serve and do it for the right reasons, keep applying. Eventually you'll get on there. The right things will be done. So thank you for applying and apply again.
Thank you. Any further for any and all? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Voice vote? Aye.
Aye.
Mary, you have the facts to stuff. So
Like to call to order the Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting of October the 19th, 2022. We've done the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a roll call. Any citizen input? Hearing none. I'm seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, including the minutes of the September 21st, 2022 Redevelopment Commission meeting, claims totaling $43,175.67.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. We have new business, Seminary Drive. An update.
Yes, looking for the direction from the RDC. Right now, Seminary Drive has had some construction done to it and the payments have been paid from the bond. So what we're looking to see if there's any support to, once this is completed, have TIF reimburse the bond. This is a TIF expense that is payable. And since the bond is a little bit looser on what you can spend the funds on, it'd probably be better to spend that money since seminary is in the TIF, and then the bond becomes a little bit more free to be spent.
Okay, do we need a motion?
If that's your direction, you could give us a motion that once the bill is complete to direct me to come with that reimbursement amount.
Yeah, the motion would be on.
I would make a motion to authorize the town manager to come before the RDC to seek payment from the TIF for Seminary Drive.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, one of the statutory specified purposes of this is to pay down obligation on that obligation. So this is statutorily.
We've done this.
Redevelopment be, I should have just asked, would redevelopment be paying this back or would just the bond be paying for it?
I think the bond would initially pay for it, and then the TIF allocation would reimburse it, or the
Right.
RDC would reimburse.
But
The
I
bond.
just don't want the State Board of Accounts looking at it as a loan and the paperwork wasn't done to say we're loaning this money.
No, they,
It's not a loan.
yeah. And the reason that some of the payments have already been made out of the bond, so we're going to let the project play out and then seek the entire amount to make it a clean reimbursement.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Project updates from Attorney Cedia.
I gave you the Speedway gas station update at the council meeting. We are still putting together the offer for the Hart Street property, just because that's a fraction of the lot, and we want to make sure we have the legal rights before we go forward with that. Were there any projects you wanted to ask me about specifically?
We close on Gettler by November
16.
16th.
Okay.
We have a signed agreement. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other discussion?
If project updates is broad enough, I would like to seek some authority to approach property owners on 213th Street. There's 3 properties that are still privately owned between the fire station and the corner. I think we should at least engage and let them know that we are interested in potentially bringing that onto us as far as ownership. So I think a simple motion to allow me to communicate with them.
Our estimate, based on how much we set aside out of RDC each year to purchase property, our estimate of those 3 properties is substantially under that. So we're
Yes.
not blowing
Yes.
anything out of the water. And that would give us from the corner to the fire station.
Okay, we need an authorization to pursue.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to engage the property owners on 213th in initial conversation regarding their properties.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Any and all? Motion for adjournment,
So moved.
second,
A second.
voice vote.
Aye.
Thank you.